All right. Welcome, everybody. Before we start, I am going to mute everybody. We will open it up, though. Welcome to week 3 compensation plan of the 331 system. This is October 25th, if I'm correct. Oy vey, time is flying. So we would like you to understand the compensation system. We've worked hard to really to get it tight, you guys, so you can explain it. So Knut and Julie and I are going to go through it. We're going to be telling stories. We would like you to understand it. We ideally want you to be able to train it, because as you're growing your team, you need to be able to understand the comp plan and get them going. So I'm going to share our slides. Julie and Knut and I are going to go back and forth, share some stories and things. So welcome again, week 3, compensation training. Let me fix my, hold on, I got to fix my gallery up here. And what we would say is the compensation plan really can build your dreams. And when we're talking often about in the 331 system, it's like, what do you want in this part of your life, right? Because this compensation plan pays more than about 90% of network marketing companies. It's really lucrative. And it rewards us both in cash. PIB is product introduction bonus. And it rewards us in points that pay bonuses. So if you've got one X39 a customer bought, that's 77 points. We're going to talk about how that also pays you, right? And the rewards, it rewards up to 6 bonuses per week through duplication and depth. That is truly what we want you all to be very good at. You're duplicating the system, you're driving depth, and it keeps building. We're going to talk about that. It rewards unlimited income deeper down through that duplication and depth. And it offers unlimited income as LifeWave is growing. You guys, well, you know we're on a rocket ship. We're at 15x per year, and they're already planning to be able to produce 1 billion of the patches. They know we're growing. So you're in the right place at the right time. We're going to be talking about the Cancun trip. We're going to give you a how-to plan. It's an exciting night. So you have to say, what do you want? What do you want? Not everybody on your team wants to build. We love them being users of the patches. We love them referring. But if you're here with us tonight, you are the leaders. So let's get going. Okay, Mr. Knut.
Here we go. Unmute. Here we go. All right. So the first step that everybody should aim for is to aim for becoming a manager. And that is dead set easy. If you've had a positive response to the patch, or you want to make some income from this, and I think that's a lot of the reasons why we are here once we've actually got ourselves a good result. It's basically you yourself have to be a gold, have a gold kit or enroll on a gold kit, upgrade yourself to gold. And then you personally introduce 4 people, 2 in the left and 2 in the right. So if the people underneath you that you introduce is at a silver level, that gives you $50 per silver. If it's a gold level, then that gives you $400, i.e. $100 per person. And I have to say this, and we'll cover this a little bit later, but from October 1 through to February the 4th, each one of these silvers, each one of these golds, or diamonds gives you points towards Cancun. But there is a shortcut to Cancun as well. And we're going to mention that in a few minutes as well. Stay active with 110 product points per month. That could be done through yourself by having a double sleeve. For example, 39 and next 49. You're at home, that's good. And make sure that your brand partners that you introduce, you get them on an order ship. And that in itself could be an Eon, it could be a glutathione, but get them on this whole concept of order ship, order subscription as well.
Okay, thank you, Knut. And we're going to have time to tell stories and stuff. To your point, go through this one, Knut.
Okay, so what we have started doing is that we sign people up, say on a silver or a gold pack, but we always say there are additional patches, different types of patches, and we get you going on either an Eon or an glutathione or something like that in the second month. But here's the key as well, is that people who are on the gold pack and above typically would like to share. They typically share and they give some patches away, they give some patches away, they give some patches away. And you do not want to run out of patches. It is that simple. The second part of this is, as we said at the first or second slide, is that, for example, an X39, when it's purchased either by you or someone in your team, someone below you, all of those points roll up to you. So if you at the end of the week by 1 minute to midnight on Sunday, you have 1,000 points. You don't lose your extra points because this works in multiples of 660, which we will say a little bit later, 660 over 330. Let's say the biggest team you have 1,000 points. That's 340 points that you don't lose if you are active. If you're not active, you lose those points. And we just had a lady in our team, she lost the equivalent of $12,500 worth of points because she was not active that month.
Yeah.
And that is a big clanger. So
Also,
that is something that you need to keep an eye on and go and speak with your people. When you see that they are having a number of points come up, but they haven't built anything, that's an asset for them.
Yeah. And if you don't understand that tonight, we will explain it, because some of us have been doing this well. But also, to Knut's point, like 2-sleeve subscription. Well, many people at the beginning just want their patches paid for. We get it, right? But pretty soon as you're building, you need X39s. I don't recommend a lot of samples go out to one person, but honestly, I need an extra sleeve every month for the growth I'm doing. So as you build, having 2 sleeves come in each month, yes, it's say $100, but you all of you know, if you put in 2 silvers, it's paid back and you're earning even more as they grow. So it's an investment in your business.
I want to make a comment on that first, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Remember, that extra sleeve to you becomes a marketing expense, which means that you can write it off on tax.
Yeah.
It's a sales aid. So from a business perspective, if you invest in a sleeve extra per month, you can write that off against tax because you're using it as a demonstration.
And if I can go on, Monday we had a big meeting here in Texas. We had quite a few people, and we hand out one X39 to everybody along with a little Dove chocolate because it has copper. This woman put the X39 on her neck, and in 15 minutes, she was one of those one-patch wonders where her face stopped hurting after 3 years. And I couldn't even imagine the better testimonial. She was just shocked, and she stands up and 40 people look at her and go, oh my gosh, was that worth having an extra patch for her? Yes. All right, we're going to talk about building depth right here. So go ahead, Knut.
I like it the way you put me in here. So the whole concept of what we're trying to get done is ignorance on fire. It is you, yourself, when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, the system that we're using is 331. In 90 days, the goal is to personally enroll 20 people on the left or on the shared and 20 in your own personal team as quickly as possible. That means that you're setting yourself up to a senior director in 90 days. When you set yourself up as a senior director by the end of February the 4th, if you qualify as a senior director by then, you have an automatic admission to Cancun.
So
I can't stress this enough. This is your ticket to Cancun.
correct.
As you enroll people, if you had 20 people on the left and 20 on the right, or in your share and your personal, well, that is $2,000 if you enroll everybody as a silver. If it's half and half, you got $3,000. So think of this is that this is expedience. You got to get out there. You got to, well, it's entirely up to you. I mean, we know this thing works. So for you, if you have on your goal list or your sheet that you want to go to Cancun in August, September in 2024, then this is where it's at.
So let me add on there, Knut. People see all these little circles and you start to get overwhelmed, but think of it for a minute, you guys. When you first become a manager and you put in your 4, you know, often they have 3 months on the patches and many people are waiting to see what they happen. We've got Fred Watson on the call tonight. Fred got to manager in, I think, 5 days, but Fred has continued to put people down, these 20 left, 20 right, which keeps him active while he's still waiting to follow up with those other people that got him to manager. So he's continually building. And we're going to talk a little more about this on Who You Know a little later, but just write it down that you're going to have 20 on your left and 20 on your right. Just declare it. You don't have to know how and where you're going to find those people yet. All right, keep going, Knut.
Okay, so as you develop yourself as a manager, which is you at a gold level, and someone underneath you, you sponsor 2 on the left, 2 on the right, in the personal team, in your shared team. This is how the business grows. This is how the business grows. But as this begins to happen, you will find people who have a result, people who have an experience. The key here for you to get momentum, and I want you to listen closely to this. The key for you to get momentum, when someone has a positive experience, often in days or in 15 minutes, you and your upline have to connect with that person and see if you can create a Zoom meeting within 24 to 72 hours with that person's friends, family, acquaintances. Do not wait for Monday or Tuesday to hook them into the team group meeting. No, you have to have yourself a Zoom account. You have to have yourself being able to present this opportunity to that person who had the experience, and you got to have the audacity, be brave to go out and stand in front or sit in front of the camera and do that group presentation to that person who had the experience and their friends and family. If you can get it in the living room, so much more the better. But if you have to get on Zoom, get on Zoom. Hook people in. We have teams now growing in Canada, all along the West Coast and internationally, simply by the fact that we have cotton on to the fact that, oh, they had an experience. Let's get with them and let's see how we can duplicate this.
Thank you, Knut. And also, a couple months back, those are the team that's been here, not you new folks. We created what we called the Flipbook presentation. You can download it. We'll give you the link. We wrote a script on how to present it. You don't have to know everything about this product, and you don't have to know everything about the business. You know more than they do, flat out. So it's time, I think, for all of you to get proficient with the Flipbook. It's just enough. It's not too much. Okay. All right. Now you've got your 4. Where do we go from here, Knut?
The key here is to continue rolling it forward. So if I was to say something, it would be that you yourself have to take responsibility for your team. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I'm the one driving this. You cannot and you should not rely on your upline to come in and run the presentation every single time. Remember, your upline has got multiple downlines. Remember that. And if you want to get out of this business, what you would like to get out of this business, then you're going to step up and take responsibility for doing it. You only have one upline. Your upline has many downlines. So get proficient in that you can understand how this works. Now, the compensation plan at this moment in time is very, very, very simple. This is the third level in the compensation plan. And when you yourself build out to manager, you are tapping out at a maximum of $1,500 per week. But as this team grows out and expands, it is a possibility that you can earn up to $25,000 in what we call a cycle bonus from the company every single week. And this we see here in that the manager, if you look at the blue 1,500, as the team grows out and you stay as manager, you do nothing else, you will tap out at $1,500 per week. That's, by the way, that is not chump change. We're looking at $72,000+ a year. A director, you hit that level, you're looking at $120,000 to $130,000 a year. Senior directors and above, you see the numbers, but the whole concept here is that as the bonus, as the people purchase products underneath you, there are $50 in cycle bonuses for each 660 on one side and 330 on the others. That's all I will say. You can work at the numbers yourself, but if you had 6,660 points coming up one team and 3,300 coming up the other side, you would earn 10 cycle bonuses. That's $500, 50 times 10. And you can work at the rest of the numbers. This limit here taps out at $25,000, $1.3 million a year.
So if I can bring that tangible, until you become manager, you don't see this. And it's not even in your realm. But these cycle bonuses, as your team takes off and people are coming in that you don't even know, it becomes an engine that's running. So 2 of my team today, we were going through this and they asked about certain levels we're going to talk about. And so I shared that last week I cycled 34 times. Now, did I do all that work? No. I'm helping people. A gentleman I knew from my last company, they had a binary. They had $50 cycle bonuses too. He drove from Wichita, Kansas to Dallas, Texas, because he was coming to do a training. And on the way, he's singing country cowboy songs, because that's the kind of guy he is in his pickup truck. He cycled 27,000 times in those 5-hour drive. You guys, this is hugely powerful, and it's worth the squeeze. So you're now building managers. We're going to go into that a little deeper. Now the company goes, for all your hard work, everybody, and you're helping your team, we want to give you another bonus. So go ahead, Knut.
So I like to use here the analogy of, let's say the first person on the left there in yellow, let's call that Jack. And underneath Jack, Jack finds Anne, and Anne finds Pete. But the whole concept here, and this is where it taps out at this level. But what caught my attention was the 3 words underneath matching bonus: unlimited income potential. So if I can find one Jack that says, for example, I'm going to earn $2,000 in a cycle bonus a week, the company pays an override to me because I found Jack, or 25% of what Jack earns. So if Jack is earning $2,000 a week, the company says to me, thank you very much, here's $500 as a matching bonus for having found Jack. And if you go down this and go say, Anne makes $1,500 and Pete makes $500, you're looking at $900 extra per week. 900 times 1 is 900. But if I could find 1 Jack, I can find 2. If I can find 2, I can find 5. If I can find 5, I can find 10. And even if it took me 10 flipping years to find 50. And 50 times 900 is a bucket load of money. Repeat it. And if I can keep on going and keep on going, and at some stage you say, enough is enough. That's fine. But here's the cool thing. As these teams begin to expand out, the numbers coming up increases.
Yeah.
And as they increase, you're still earning 25% and 20% and 20%. What happens when Jack is doing 10,000 a week? That is pretty cool. I have never seen this in an MLM before, network marketing. I've never seen it. I've been in network marketing for 24 years. I have never, ever seen a compensation plan like this.
Thank you. And Knut, and if I can share, one of our lovely brand partners on here tonight, anonymously, is a Costco, one of the leaders in Costco. Now, can you imagine if he or she had an override on all the employees in her store because she was training them and doing such a good job? Nobody in business tells us, hey, you just trained that team and you guys are really doing a great job. Let me give you 25% of Jack and Ann and Bill's salary, right? So when people push back, I know, is that a pyramid thing? I always say, yep, and it's the greatest cult I've ever been in, because nowhere can you find this level. So we're going to help you. We want you to create managers. That's what our job is here. All right, we're going to have time for questions, and let's stop here before we go into Cancun and just check on questions. So who's completely lost? Who's got it? Who wants to add their story? Because we got some good stories. Julie, kick off one of your stories. She had some good ones.
From which building managers, you mean, or
building managers?
Yeah, well, I love systems, and we're building a couple of legs at the moment, and it is all about building managers. So what we found is people, when they see the Zoom meeting, say, I'll just use that as an example, and then you get a patch on them straight away. You do that by having patches on hand, or if you have to wait a week because there's mailed to them, that's what happens. But if I can get the patch on them straight away, they get an experience. I have had so many people get an experience in the last 6 weeks. I'm like, where was I before? I mustn't have been looking. So they get an experience. We then get in front of, we have a presentation, whether it's a live one or on a Zoom, with family and friends, the people that they directly speak to straight after they have an experience that know them. And then we have a model coming through, like this model that's going to come up after this next slide, developing very nicely, that managers are being developed, learning, and then they're bringing on managers very quickly. And that's how you get through this. I think 90 days is a long time to get, if you're using the model correctly. We're doing 3-3-1. We do it every day, both of us, and we're very focused.
Yeah. Questions, confusion? Some of you are seeing it for the first time. Go ahead and unmute. There's going to be a test on Monday. No. Indeed. Because once you get it and you understand the power of this, and Glenda, we got some hints. Why wouldn't you do it? Glenda, go ahead and unmute. What's your question?
How do you know, or how do you go about putting that person on the left or the right?
Glenda, I'm going to have Rosemary show you in your back office how to do that, okay?
Okay, super.
Yep, thank you. G, who is our G here tonight?
Jerry.
Yes, Jerry, go ahead.
I guess that's probably more my thing too, is like I'm gonna need someone to kind of sit with me, because I do have people on one leg and a couple on another leg, but I need to know how to balance that out. So I think her question is basically like mine. I need somebody to sit with me.
Yeah. And if I can share, Jerry's had a lot of things she's handled this year. She's coming back in. Guess what? She still has points. even though she had to go out. So Jerry, we'll get that training for you. Yep. Okay. We've got other hands. It's saying 6 other hands. Where are you guys? I'm not seeing hands. Anything? Any other questions? Okay. All right. Let's rock and roll then. All right. Who wants to go to the beach? Now, quick story. The beach isn't everybody's like sweet spot. Most people, but not everybody. And years ago in a group I was in, we had a Cancun trip for a large group. And the person who went with me, she actually didn't get in the sun and didn't like beaches. But I will tell you, she had the best time on that trip because it's totally different, you guys. When you go with your friends, you go with your teams, and you are all doing stuff together. And those of us who went to Aruba in April will tell you, we were blown away at the LifeWave Aruba trip. So we're going to have a lot more trainings on Cancun because tonight we don't have the qualifications. We'd like to show you how to get to senior director. But if you're just starting to look at the qualifications, it started October 2nd. There's ways to get points. We will be having meetings on that. It goes through February 4th. But if you do the next plan we're going to show you, and you reach senior director, and you hold it for 6 weeks, you're going automatically. You're not going to have to earn 50 to 75 points. But that means when the next thing Knut's going to take you through, you have to qualify for senior director by December 10th. Because they want you to keep it steady for 6 weeks after that, okay? You see February 4th and you go, oh, I got a lot of time. No, you have circle December 10th, keep with us. We're gonna take you through all the things in November and Black Friday, how to use it. We've got lots of help coming. All right, Knut, take us through how to run to senior director.
Well, the first thing, if you think about it in a logical manner, the very, very first rank in LifeWave is a manager. Anybody on this call should be able to build out and go manager in 5 to 15 days. It is as simple as introducing 4 people, but you ain't gonna do it by sitting at home studying at YouTube or whatever. In my previous company, we had this saying that, or you have to know everything, or people were thinking they had to know everything about everything. And they created a library of XYZ company encyclopedia and put it on a bookshelf and never did anything with it. Here, you're just going to be brave, audacious, and go out and speak with people. So your goal, if you're not a manager, become a manager in the next 5 to 15 days. Just get it out, go there, get it done, work with your active upline, the person who's helping you grow this business. Be audacious, speak to anyone. Once you have done that, the next step is...
Wait, hold on, before we go next step, just a sec.
You've added some bubbles, I didn't know.
Couple things. You can have a business launch party at your home. Hey, I'm really excited. I'm working with wellness. I'm helping people reverse age. Let's have an announced party and get people together. People love coming to your home, whether it's tea or a little glass of wine. You guys have a business launch party. Be bold. All right. We will take you through the flipbook presentation. That's all you need to show. You can show it on your TV, on your computer, whatever. This isn't hard, right?
Let me interject there. Julie had a meeting today with a lady. We won't say how big she is on Facebook, but Julie reached out to this lady on Facebook and they sat down and had lunch, and 2.5 hours later, I don't recommend this, but 2.5 hours later, Julie was just going through the flipbook. And she got, I think she just got to the first step in the flipbook when we were talking about money. And this lady's jaw just hit the desk with a huge thump. When you see the money and people understand what it can do with the technology behind it, revolutionary technology in photobiomodulation, People go, what the heck is that? Well, come on over, I'll show you.
So Julie and Canute have enrolled over 100 personals, you guys. Did they know all those people? No. They often wear their patch on their arm. People ask about it. Some people wear their name tag. People ask about it, right? And you don't have to be the expert. That's why we made the flip book. Pull it out. Let the pictures tell the story.
No,
Don't-
just mention. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you'd finished.
Go
I had a lady contact me the other day. She's in my business somewhere. I didn't know her. She reached out to me. We had a Zoom meeting, and the first thing she said was, I have never seen a compensation plan that pays this much. And
Yeah.
she's a multimillionaire. She was introduced by someone else, someone far, far away. And she goes, this is unbelievable. I'm in. And I was like, that just gave me such a boost in terms of confidence to speak it out. And then I had a great result today as well as a result of that, I think.
Yay, Julie. I'm going to do a little personal development stuff here, and I say this with love and honoring all the bright people on this call. But if you were a person that had to get all the details before you joined, often you attract people who want to get all the details before they join. If you're a person that totally wants to wait 3 or 4 months to get your personal result, often you're going to attract people who want to take 3 and 4 months. If you're a person that jumps in and says, I don't need to know anything, I'm putting a patch on you, here, let's jump on this website, often you attract those same people. Let's get going. Don't think you have to, no, how do I say this? Be willing to come out of your comfort zone. We know the science is there for those science people. They don't need to read 400 documents. You didn't need to either. So let's just get moving. Barbara Larrabee got to manager in 6 days. Fred got in 5 days. Just declare it's going to happen. Let's attract these folks. All right. So now you've made yourself into a manager. Canute, do you want to go through how you now keep going? And we're now going to create a director.
Sure. Again, remember, we are thinking 2020. 2020. So you're introducing 20 on your left, 20 on your right. ASAP. When you have developed, worked with your upline to develop 2 managers underneath you, 1 in each team, you now hit the rank of director. And this is key on this way through, because now you're beginning to learn. When you go manager the first time, you're so busy about that. But when you're actually setting up to become a director, you are now taking responsibility for your own business. Because when you do that, you end up in a situation where you go director. And if you go 1 back, please. Janet, say 1 back.
Going.
Okay, so remember, in the shared team, your manager will help you setting up the manager. In your own personal team, guess what? Your upline will help you develop a second manager. But they will never, ever, ever put any personals into that team. This is your responsibility. So if you're dragging your heels in terms of personally introducing new people in your personal team, you ain't going to hit director. Conversely, if you decided you're going to put everybody that you personally introduced in your personal team, you'll never hit director, because you don't have enough personally introduced people in the shared team. So the method here is very, very simple. The first person you introduce goes in the shared team. The 2 next people that you personally introduce, number 2 and number 3, goes in your personal team. The 4th person goes back into the shared team. And now you flip-flop that way all the way down. Unless there's some family connections or some specific team connections, then you have to rebalance. But the kind of rule of thumb, 75-80% of the time, 1 in the shared team, 2-3 in the personal team, 4 in the shared team. And then you repeat the process. It's a very straightforward process. But unless you get the skates on and you don't get people into the personal team, your upline cannot help you to build a manager below you. I hope that makes sense. Once you have that in place, now we can roll to the senior director.
So before we go there, Glinda, you're going to have Rosemary go through that placement with you. We've got some other new people on. Work with your upline or with one of us as senior people. Happy to help you guys. Not everybody you enroll wants to work. Maybe they just truly want to consume the patches. Maybe they're not going to be a manager. That's why Knut's saying keep going. 20 on the personal team, 20 on the shared team. Someone is going to raise their hand and go, this is amazing. I want to do this too. Okay. So if you've put in one person and you think that's your rock star and they're not doing anything, you cannot whip them into action, you guys. It's not what they want to do. So keep moving. This is going to develop. I can attest to it. Julian Knut can attest to it. Barbara Larrabee can attest to it. It builds. And pretty soon, one day, someone calls you up and you didn't have to work and they want to join. And that's a really fun day. All right. So now you are a director and you are on your way to senior director.
Again, the same concept applies. This picture is a little bit skewed. The key here is for you to make sure that you have at least one active team member, a manager, I should say, in one of your teams. To hit senior director, it's not a necessity to have 2 directors, 1 in each team. You can get away with it by having 2 directors in one team. But you have to have an active manager and 3 active silvers in the other team. So for you to balance out, work both teams.
Yeah.
Work both teams, aim to help people who are managers in both teams to develop directors. Now you're creating stability and you're creating a stable income stream coming in as well. And that is the key. You really want to do that. The days that I saw earlier for reaching senior director and holding it for 6 weeks, if I work back myself, 31 days in January, that's 35.
December 10th, Knut. You have to hit this by December 10th.
You said holding it for 6 weeks.
Right, holding it from December 10th to February 4th.
But that's 6 weeks is in the middle of December. We can work out the days later on. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking at 35 days from January 1 through to February 4th is 35 days. That's almost 6 weeks. So all we're saying is that you got to stay at the level of senior director. It doesn't have to be consecutively weeks, but you got to have 6 weeks as paid as a senior director for you to get to Cancun. The other way, of course, is to just obtain the points. If you build it with the points, then you can do that as well.
Yes. Thank you. I want to stop for a minute. Rosemary asked, if your sponsor isn't building and you can't add, and they're not adding to your shared lake, does that mean no help? Can your second level up from you add to your shared lake? So Rosemary, anybody above you can add to your shared lake. It isn't just your upline. But as Knut said, if the onus is on you. When I first started and saw this, my upline never built and I knew nobody above them and I never had anybody add to my shared leg. Okay, the onus was on me and I'm now presidential director. We're here to help you. So if you raise your hand and said, woohoo, I'm going to Cancun, we'll help you, Rosemary. We will. Pardon me. I want to go back here for a sec. Questions? I'm going to stop this for a sec.
I think the statement that should be made is reach out to the upline above you who's active.
Yeah.
Someone who's out there who's showing the plan, who's driving the miles, and connecting with people. There's a reason why Julie and I are driving around half the United States. We're not doing it because we're bored, lonely, or looking for experience. I can promise you that.
They like Buc-ee's. They just like to go to the Buc-ee's.
Can I get a, I just wanted to talk about that last point. When you're building to senior director, your global points come into play. They don't come in at director. So at senior director, you need 10,000 points. Now, if my upline puts people in that line, it doesn't really matter to me. I've got to build the leg, because her points don't add to my global volume for 10,000 points. So that'll make sense as you go up there. It's not something that you really need to know until you come through director and you're growing. I think I didn't know. I got to 10,000 points. I wasn't senior director. I didn't know at that time. We've learned a lot since then. But then the structure is important. So, but yeah, don't worry too much if someone isn't putting people in above you. Maybe helping people below you, that counts to your global volume.
And
Correct.
that's where the 2020 comes in. 20 persons left, right, and you will get there.
Yeah. To Julie's point, we don't really go too deep until you hit senior director. It then flips. So let me pause for a minute. When Barbara Larrabee and I first looked at this plan, and we said, oh my gosh, we only have to get 2 directors. We were like aghast how easy it was, because our other companies made you build like all over the place. And we're like, 2 directors? This is so simple. But then as you keep going up, it's volume. So we're going to be talking to you coming up here about November, because Black Friday can give you a lot of volume, you guys. And so you want to be around. Okay.
Janet, I just wanted to say, so I just think this is a value. We came in March 2022. I actually did 2020 pretty much then. I don't know if it was like, maybe it was in 3 months, but that put me through to senior director without a system in about 4 months, which we were kind of learning about it, weren't we, Janet? And it was like, oh, this is happening. But I knew from previous experience that I needed to put 20 each side. So this isn't new. It's just, and it's a fantastic guide.
Thank you, Julie. Jerry, you've got a question.
Really quick. So as I look at this, I need to put 20 new people on each side, or is my shared leg already going to be a part of that? And I just need to focus on my other one.
You need to do 20 on each leg yourself.
Got it.
Here's why. When you get to the upper ranks, Canuck said global volume unilevel. It's your own personal volume. So I enrolled Jerry on a certain leg, Jerry Ziegenfuss. And everybody I personally enrolled down from me goes to my volume for that. Now, it's great if Julian Canute put in volume, it helps me cycle, but I didn't enroll Julian Canute. We love you, but I didn't enroll you. So they're helping my overall cycles, but they don't count for me to hit senior presidential director. So when we say you need to build your team, this is what we mean, and we're here to help you. Does that help, Jerry? Hopefully. Okay.
Yes, sorry, I muted myself. Yes.
Okay. And don't get too crazy. As you get to director, this all starts making sense.
But Janet just said that. I just want to clarify our points, because we are connected to you. They do help you get to SPD, our points in the global volume, but we're not personally sponsored by Janet. So if we go SPD, it's not a personal SPD to you, for instance. I just wanted to clarify that, because somebody might have a question on that. So.
Yeah. So when we're trying to help you guys learn this, stay focused on your business. Let's help you build. Let's help you build managers. You don't need to wander off and go help somebody way over there build their business that's not in your line. Let their upline help them. Other questions, other thoughts? We're gonna take you through a couple other things here. We will have meetings on the point system for Cancun probably coming up next week, and help you get started there. All right, wrapping this up. Thank you everybody for this. I would really recommend just write down that you're a senior director and you're going to Cancun. Declare it. You don't have to know yet how all this is going to work, but just say, wow, isn't it be great when the company sends you money to buy the plane tickets? We loved that, going to Aruba. And then when you get there and everything's paid for and you're having parties on the beach and you're with David, it's really, really fun, you guys. This is worth doing it. Okay. Now, we want to talk a little bit. Some of you are, as you climb up and you start becoming directors, it's different. And so we wanted to go over the responsibilities a little bit and kind of just have a chat here. Your job is then to help your people learn the 331 system. People, are they watching the videos if they can't come on the Wednesday meetings? Are you helping them become a manager, helping them understand what it's going to take? Are you helping them learn the flip book or set up a Zoom meeting, right? You're helping to develop those managers. You're helping them to learn to duplicate is all this 20 left, 20 right, being able to, the people below them learn 331. When your people learn 331 and they take off, that's duplication, you guys, and you start getting a paycheck every week that in a certain way you had no responsibility for it because they took off. It's building down. Your job also is to celebrate their success. I said celebrate your success, but I meant, your people's. Give them high fives. You should be talking to them, celebrate their manager. People need recognition. It's really hugely important. So let's celebrate the successes. I can't wait till we have in February. Who's going to Cancun? Woohoo! Who made it? How hard did we work? Let's really enjoy this together. Now, you're a new brand partner, and maybe you've never done network marketing before. Lots of people in this company haven't. That's okay. But your responsibility is to be teachable. You need to say, I'm going to learn this stuff. It's the onus is on me. They can't build this for me. I need to do the work. You also need to be coachable. What does that mean? Well, Robin Muscari coaches me. Janet, you need to do this. Janet, you need to do that. Oh, okay. Thanks, Robin. I don't debate her. She's built many big teams. I need to learn from her. Okay. Your job also is to be a pleasure to work with. As Knut said, you've got one upline, but your upline may have lots of downlines that they're working with. And, just like if you're running any business or you have a partner in marriage, being a pleasure to work with makes it a whole lot better, right? Collaborate with your upline daily, even if it's a text. Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I want to invite this person here. Hey, I don't understand this. Just touch base, okay? Follow that 331 system. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to build your own slides. You don't need to figure out that you want to share the system a completely different way because maybe you're a medical professional. You guys just follow the system. Why? Because you want your people below you to duplicate the system. Because confused people just stay confused. You give them a system, they know what to do, right? And then participate in the meetings and the presentations and the events and supporting your growing team. I'll be honest, I know how many thousands of people are on our team. And tonight we have less than 30 people on the call. Where are your people? Are you reaching out to them? Are you asking them to get on? Are you encouraging them? Are you saying, look, you said you wanted to do this. Are you really going to give us some time? So we really are here for you. We love being part of your lives. I can't imagine anything I enjoy more every day is getting up and working with you guys and the miracles we cause. I just feel like at this age of my life, what a blessing. I've had some really rough career stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, I get to get up and put a patch on people. And I get this amazing team to work with and all these great friends. And now we're going to go to the beach. And oh, by the way, the company sends me checks. I mean, life is good, you guys. So we're going to wrap it here. Questions, thoughts? Rosemary, your hand's up again. You're unmuted. Unmute, please.
finally. Okay, sorry. Uh, I would like you to mention something because this was very interesting to me. I've been in a company before, and you start building your team and everything. And then someone in your team is a real go-getter and they reach your level and above you, and you lose them because they branch off. It doesn't happen here is what I'm understanding. And that's what I want you to mention.
I love binaries. You guys, there's other systems where you get maybe 7 down and then that's it. And you don't get any of the rest. And maybe in level 18, the big builder happened. That's what Rosemary's saying. And you don't get it. I love binaries because they go forever. Yep, indeed. Janet, thoughts? Gonna jump in, our other director here. Janet's probably having dinner and she's like, oh my gosh.
No. I'm on my phone. So we just got in from a networking thing with some veterans.
Yay.
Yes. So I am so sorry. I was multitasking. So ask me specifically what you wanted me to comment on.
What did you say about the comp plan and your success with you and Bob and what it's done for you now that you've retired from your careers?
Well, I too have done another network marketing company, which had a very complicated compensation plan that they kept changing. And every time they changed it, you were making less money. So when I looked at this compensation plan, and I have to be honest with you, probably until I was past manager going towards director, did I even care about the compensation plan? I just knew I had to get 2 silvers on each side and be a gold, and then I would be a manager. That was my focus. So you really do not need to know all this. You just need to know you need to be manager and then start working on director. But I've been very pleased with all the different ways you can earn money. And when you get to that part where you're doing all the cycle bonusing and the people under you are cycle bonusing and you're getting a percentage of what they make, that is just plain old cool. Because I was a nurse for 42 years. I never got a percentage of anybody else's nursing that I might have taught them or whatever, instructed them on how to do anesthesia. I didn't get anything for what I did for them or what they accomplished. So it's just really a very generous compensation plan that we should all be very proud of, honestly, in our company.
Thank you, Janet. And also tell them about Aruba.
Again, I didn't know what to expect because I have never been on a paid vacation. I've earned the right to go somewhere for a leadership retreat, but I had to pay my way there and pay for my hotel, etc. So from the plane amount they gave you for the plane ride to the location and everything in between, it was just first class. Everything was done so nicely. And they made sure that you had a wonderful time and everything was paid for. I mean, absolutely everything. They even gave you extra money to spend because they didn't cover a couple meals. So they gave you some, like a stipend for you to, or a stipend, excuse me, for you to have meals or whatever you wanted to purchase with that money. So it was just amazing. It was honestly, it was not just the caliber of everything there and how they did everything, which was top notch, but it was about being with your team and meeting these people you've only seen on the Hollywood Squares, on Zoom calls, getting to meet them in person, just like at the conference we just had, the convention. That is precious, that time that you're spending. And we would have like little group sessions in the water, we'd go out there or under the cabana with a margarita. So it was very, very rewarding to go there and just amazingly fun time. We so much enjoyed it.
Thank you, Janet. And then there was Miss Rosemary, who was like, oh, I don't think I want to go.
Oh yeah, that would be me. And I had the best time ever. And I became a director while I was there. So how about that?
Yeah. So we would say, declare you're a senior director. Let's just work towards it. No matter what, if you hit 75 points, you're still going to go. So we hope that's inspired you. And just remember, you guys, who out there is in pain? Who out there is praying right now for a solution? I just had a woman earlier this week say, I can't believe you contacted me. I have been praying for this. So just reach out, just be heart to heart. I ask people all the time, hey, I've got this really special technology. Who do you know is in pain? Who needs help? You just get them to open up, you guys. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Knut. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, all the leaders. Thank you, all of you here. And let's rank up. Let's go to the beach, you guys.
Hi, and thanks again to everybody. Good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you.